But joining us right now, a young man who I remember quite well, lighting it up in a League One Ontario Golden Boot winner from A&B, and a guy right now who is part of the FC Dallas family, Adonijah Reid. Adonijah, welcome, my friend.
Hello. Hi, Anthony. Thank you for having me here.
Hey, pleasure's all mine, young man. Let's talk about it. Let's go back at the beginning of the week of the Combine. A lot going on in your mind to impress, a lot of stress, a lot of interviews. Tell us, take us through the journey at the beginning of the week all the way up until the draft. Give us an insight through your view in your mind, what took place that you enjoyed.
Well, at the beginning, I was told 2 weeks before it happened, so I was kind of surprised. And I didn't have really a lot of time to get ready, but when I got there, well, it wasn't my first time there, so it wasn't anything new to me, but I really like LA, you know? So when I got there, I had to meet new players, meet new coaches. I think it was a good thing, you know, meeting new people again and getting to know different players in your team. And basically through the week, the first training for the physical training, I know I'm very small and not that big, so I knew I wouldn't do as well. But I know it mostly focuses on the games. So when it came to the games, I think I did pretty well in the first game. And I think I did good in the second game, but not as good as the first game. And after the third game, I picked it up again. And basically, when it came to the draft, I was just hoping to get picked.
Well, let me put your mind at ease, Adonijah. I watched all the games you played in. You didn't do just okay. You did well. You opened up eyes. You were aggressive. You were fierce. You weren't afraid, and you did not care who was out there. You did not do anything to bring your stock down, and FC Dallas believed in you. First generation Adidas Canadian player. This goes a long way. This is a huge accolade for you, and going back to A&B for what they did for you and your development. Talk about it. Talk about Bassam. Talk about Marcel, all the people back then that helped you to get where you're at today.
Well, this year it'd be the 6th year I'd be at A&B if I was still there. So I have them to thank a lot for this, because they basically took me in during my development years and made me into the player I was today. So I have to thank them a lot for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about now FC Dallas. They believed in you. Oscar Pereira says you're a kid that has a lot of tools. You bring a lot to the table. And his quote is, Reid is a good find, and he's very young and has been advancing on his own. This is key. You're advancing on your own. You're getting better and better, and you're still young. What did they say to you after you got drafted? What did they believe was the turning point, the last little piece that set them over the top to say, we want Reid part of FC Dallas?
Well, at first, during the interviews, I didn't really, Dallas wasn't one of them, so I didn't even know they were interested. But then when I heard they wanted me from the draft, I was really surprised, you know, because it was I didn't really know much about the team, because I never really focused on them because they never had no interest. But after they drafted me, I said hi to the coaches and the people who own it and things like that. And they seem like they really liked me. They seem like they really have a lot of interest in me, and they just want me to do good and fit into their club.
So what's the next move for you? Are you off to their camp? What's the next, where you're going to set up? Where are you headed off to next?
Well, they said they would contact me for me to go down to the club for preseason. I'm just waiting for the call.
Let's talk about the type of player you are. For people who didn't watch the Combine, for not too many people that watched the games you played in League One Ontario, and maybe even at the under-20 Canada team, what do they expect from you? What should they expect from you? What type of player are you?
Well, I'm a player that likes to. Anytime I see a 1v1 situation, I all the time I could take the chance, you know, and I think I'm pretty fast, so I can probably run by the players. I have good awareness on the ball. I can probably find different spots, create plays, assists, things like that. I mean, you said you've seen me, so you know I like to score goals and finish, so I think I can bring that to the team.
Right, but the thing that I think a lot of people should know about you, Adonijah, is you're a complete player. You have the speed, you can score, but you bring the rest of the package there. I remember watching a couple of the games at the Combine. You lost one, and you raced all the way back to win that battle and that ball back because you knew you wanted it back. You made an error. You wanted to get it back, and you did. You didn't just shrug your shoulders and say, well, it'll come back to me. I'll eventually get another go at it. This is what is key, I believe, for your development, and coach has seen this.
Yeah. because like you can't, like if you lose the ball, you can't stop like that. You can't have that's not a good mentality. So if you lose the ball, you have to get it back. That's your first thing that should go into your head when you lose the ball. You have to get it back.
So let's talk about it before we let you go very quickly. We only got a minute here left. Adonijah, who helped you in this journey? Who believed in you? Whether there a parent, a sibling, a young coach? Who believed in you and now they're starting to say, wow, this dream is coming to reality. You've signed on with FC, being drafted by FC Dallas. This is huge. Who believed in you?
Well, both my parents believed in me a lot, but the person I have to thank the most is probably Sam, because like he's been there like through all of it. Basically, he's been through me with all the trials in Europe, all the tournaments and all the things like that. So he put in the most time and effort. And I also have to thank my agent too, because he basically made this happen, making me go to the draft and getting me with the agreement. So I have to thank both of them.
Right, but you also got to put first and foremost, as you said, your parents at the top, because they filled the gas tank to get you to the games. They brought you to training. They signed the checks to pay. They were the ones that believed in you. They were the ones that were always there supporting you. What are their names?
My father's name is Adonijah Reid, and my mother's name is Vinicius Benton.
And you're going to promise me, like I told Kwame Oyuya of New York City FC, that you're going to take them out for a nice dinner, and you're going to thank them, and you're going to put a smile on their face, because I tell you what, as a parent of two boys myself, parents don't want nothing. They just want their child to be happy, safe, secure, and live the dream like you're living. So good luck, young man. Let's hope we see you up here in BMO, whether playing for Canada or with FC Dallas versus TFC. It'll be an unbelievable story. A and B, League One Ontario, and you make it to the bright lights. Good luck, young man, and we're wishing you nothing but success.
Thank you. Thank you a lot for having me.